Hey everyone, Skull902 here. The time has finally come and the last 7 episodes of Sonic Prime have dropped. It's been an enjoyable ride so far, even if a bunch of people on Twitter did a 180 on the show, and I've been looking forward to this in the half year since Season 2 came out. What does the conclusion bring for our blue hero, and will it be a satisfactory ending? Let's have a look. The presentation, animation, music, voice acting, and so on are about the same as the last 2 times, so I'll spare the details, with the quick notes that Brian Drummond was leaning into Dr. Dunnett's voice so much he started mushmouthing his lines, Ashley Ball appears to lose the voice when Nine gets particularly frustrated, and that weird sprite animation they had with clashing classic Sonic and Advance 3 sprites, though that was also a thing in the first season. Almost like a Newgrounds animation from 2007. The story was fine and made sense overall. Nine has a very understandable motive, and I think that makes him a sympathetic villain. I remember seeing one person call his turn to villainy bad writing because, oh no, they made Tails turn mean now. And I mean, consider he's been bullied, oppressed, and abandoned his entire life. Then once he finally makes a friend, his trust is swiftly broken. I can understand the shift in attitude. Aside from that, there's a good reason given for why the protagonists and Chaos Council have to work together, as well as why the Alliance go in to fight Nine when Sonic talks to him despite their safety being guaranteed. That being said, there are some holes like Sonic going, "Whoa, who's that?" at Grim Sonic despite it looking almost identical to the original Chaos Sonic, and the fact that there are so many characters now that new details come by without much development or explanation, like Thorn Rose forming a sisterly bond with Rusty and Black Rose despite having little interaction with them beforehand, or Knuckles the Dread immediately joining the fight against Nine as soon as everyone makes their way over to the Grim. There's a moment he sees Black Rose struggling and realizes what he's been doing was wrong, which I think could have been the way he entered the fight in the first place, considering his demeanor at the beginning of the season. Have others try to convince him to fight and he refuses until that moment, something along those lines. Sonic and Shadow's return to Green Hill was done mostly fine, though I think the details of them bringing in the ship out of nowhere were unnecessary. Like, wasn't that ship sucked into the void earlier? It looked like the only part of the Grim left was a small bit of the Citadel. That being said, I think the story ended on a good fun note with Sonic having learned his lesson. As far as the scripting goes, there's some repeat dialogue that makes binge-watching weird when you've heard Nine explain for the millionth time that he's running low on energy and needs Sonic to complete the prism. Feels like they were writing for a show intended to be released weekly in that respect. Nine's retort of "I hate chili dogs" I also think took any tension they were trying to go for out of the part where Sonic tries renegotiating their deal, and while I do think there was a good reason for everyone to trust Nine on his word at the end of the season, the wording for it could have been a lot better than him saying "yeah, trust me bro," as if they weren't just engaged in a 4-episode fight. So, as a whole, I think Season 3 of Prime was pretty good. Not the best Sonic cartoon out there, but it told the story in a way I think made sense for the most part and concluded nicely with its adventure continues ending. You just kinda have to think of it as a self-contained series despite the official word being that this takes place in the same world as the games because there is no way that makes any fucking sense. For what it's worth, it is the first Sonic cartoon I've watched every episode of. I liked it, and I'd be curious as to how the story would continue if a Season 4 was announced. As it stands, this seems to be the end, and I think the folks behind it did a pretty good job. Thanks for watching. Feel free to let me know what you thought about the video in the comments. Give it a like if you liked it, or a dislike if you didn't. If you'd like to see more, subscribe and click the bell for notifications. It's free and you can opt out anytime. Here's a playlist with similar content, and my Twitter. I have been Skull902, thank you again for watching, and have yourselves a wonderful day.